Hello, and welcome to Business Beyond the Matrix, where we share how to lead your business intuitively, magnetize ideal clients, and propel your revenue in 2024 while working only part-time hours. I am your host and intuitive business consultant, Megan Camille. To you today, the lovely Eva Gregory. Welcome, Eva.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So excited to have you here today. Eva Gregory is an award-winning business success catalyst who helps coaches and heart-centered entrepreneurs worldwide scale to six figures and beyond by integrating energy alignment and inner guidance with proven practical business strategies that are working today to attract premium clients with high-ticket offers. Applying the law of attraction and her intuitive awareness to her prior business, she was able to go from almost $100,000 in debt and near bankruptcy to a seven-figure bottom line within 9 months. It's the combination of practical, step-by-step business training and intuitive spiritual awareness that sets her apart from others in her field. So much yes to this. Of course, this is why you're part of Business Beyond the Matrix, because business success has moved from linear in the boardroom to intuitive and quantum field. So will you just give us a little bit of insight? Like, how did you get started in this realm?
Yeah. Well, I actually came out of IBM, and you talk about corporate boardroom and all of that. But and I just felt like I was a cog in the wheel. And this was back when IBM didn't lay off people. Like, you were there for life unless you did something stupid to get fired. But I had it, and I went in one day and I said, I'm out of here. And people thought I was crazy. And at the time, I thought that, okay, so I'm invincible. I've had the IBM behind me. I can go out and be an entrepreneur. They do not train you to be an entrepreneur, okay? Corporate does not train you. And I ended up falling on my face, really. And then my other half, Robin, was just doing a startup software company at the time. And he says, well, why don't you come in and let's run the business together until you figure out what you want to do. I will tell you, when he said that to me, the first thing that I thought was how to ruin a relationship in one easy lesson.
Yeah.
Live with them and work with them, right? But I have to tell you, it was 10 years later, so it did work, but it was in the last 5 years of the business was when things were really going downhill and fast. And we were in so much action for 5 years, and we were doing supposedly the right things, right? We were looking for people to back us up. We were looking for business partners. We were looking for joint venture, and nothing was working. And so we were laying off staff. We weren't paying ourselves. We were trying to retain the skeleton crew we had. Creditors were after us personally and after us in the business. I mean, people, I know as entrepreneurs, you probably have had something that feels this way, right? Well, this was us. And by the way, this was after I had learned about law of attraction, right? But it was like I was using law of attraction when it came to the little stuff, get the parking place, that kind of thing. But when it came to something like the business, it was like, and this is what I see people do, is everything that they're learning about energy alignment, or in this case for us, it was law of attraction at the time, we just threw it all out and we went back to our old mode of operation. And it's very easy to do that when you're in a big, scary place, right? And for whatever reason, I woke up in the middle of the night after having panic attacks. And all of a sudden, I got this, Eva, you understand law of attraction, you understand this stuff, and you're not walking your talk. And I just had this download to like go into the business, and instead of doing what practical stuff, like go find somebody else to help you with the business and make more sales, it was teach them how to understand energy alignment. Show them how to focus on what it is that you want. And, that was, so two things. That year was probably the most transformational turning point in my life at the time, because those two things converged on us, the company, but on me specifically, in that it was about understanding the power of law of attraction and inner guidance, right? And oh my gosh, it was so huge. And I got up the next morning and I went into the business and I shared what was going on, what we were doing in the business. And, I didn't care what people thought at that point. We had tried everything, right? And then what I taught them was, okay, we're going to have this huge prosperity account. Okay. And what we did is everyone in the company would spend, what would your department spend $10,000 on the company for in the business today? And tomorrow it's $11,000. The next day it's $12,000, right? So each day it was more. And within 9 months of practicing this process, and the energy totally shifted when we were playing the game. Now, we still had to do things in the business to keep the doors open as best we could, but that was the unexpected thing. It was enough shift in energy. And within 9 months of practicing this process, we were approached by someone to sell the company lock, stock, and barrel, and literally went from no paycheck to no paycheck many times with Robin and I to successfully selling that business for a very hefty sum of money. And when the company legally changed hands, we were in the Grenadine Islands on a 42-foot catamaran, island hopping with friends. And that is the power of inner guidance and trusting your intuition and what I called your soul's calling. Totally game changer.
Wow. So a couple of things that I'm hearing in this story is you had knowledge of
Yes.
these laws, of these practices, but you weren't necessarily applying it. And then you did apply it and it changed. So why do you think, because there's a lot of people that are aware now, right? Like it's
Yes,
not,
for sure.
it's like much more mainstream that we have intuition, that there are spiritual and universal laws that can support us or be really, detrimental if we're trying to arm wrestle them. So why do you think, from your experience and, from being in business all this time and supporting others, that people aren't leading from that place? Like, why is it not automatic if it is natural?
Yeah, well, it may be natural, but it's been taught out of us. Okay, so if you think about when we're growing up, oh my gosh, we grew up being taught what we have to do. We have to behave a certain way. Our parents told us what we should and shouldn't think, right? Our teachers taught us that, what we should and shouldn't think, and the way things had to be done. And then, of course, now in business, and then even then, like everywhere you look, we're bombarded with what's the right way to do your marketing and sales. How is the right way to do your social media? What about your email campaigns and your website? And are you using the right colors? I mean, yada, yada, yada. And all by the experts who will assure you that if you do what they tell you, you can have the kind of success that they have. And what happens with us who are really heart-centered entrepreneurs, we know it feels off, right? But we've been so taught to override that intuition and that truth by logic, but then it still comes back to us, right? And it feels out of integrity. That's how you know it's not for you, okay? It feels out of integrity with your values, with your spirit, and who you are at the core. And so what happens to us? We doubt ourselves. And then we wonder what's wrong with us. And then, of course, we continue to struggle. That was the way it was for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just basically taught out of us, and we've just got to come back and remember this is our true North Star.
Yeah. And you talk about your soul as a CEO, which I call the inner CEO.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so you shifted from an aspect of yourself guiding your business at that time into your soul as a CEO. So will you talk to us a bit about what you mean by that? What does that mean for a listener to go, do I have a soul CEO? I don't
Yes,
know.
you do. We all have our soul as CEO, right? So if you think about it, we have all these decisions that we're having to make in any given day, right? We've got multiple decisions there, and we've got decisions on the impact for us, for the impact for our business, the impact for our clients. How do we attract our clients? It affects the amount of money we make, how many lives we will impact. And so we will look at how do we develop the ability to know the right decisions to make thousands of decisions, okay? How do we get direct access to our soul as CEO so that we make it. And how do we know when do you listen to the practical and when do you listen to the inner guidance, right? Or the inner CEO. Is that what you say you call it? The inner CEO? I love that. Right. And here's the thing. I have found that you don't want to separate the two. You need both. Okay. And so this is where I call it guidance from our soul comes into play. It's the GPS. You know, like the GPS in our car, we need to go somewhere. That's just a feedback device for us. It tells us where we are relative to where we want to go as it's trying to get us there, right? But what we have to do is we enter that destination into the system and then start moving. We've got to move, right? You can't key in the GPS and then don't hit the accelerator.
Keep looking at the screen, right? Like looking at the screen.
Exactly. And so the way I call it is this particular GPS that we have is called the inner GPS, and I call it guidance powered by spirit. That is our inner GPS, and it is extremely powerful for guiding us to the success that we want. And so when you're tapping into that inner guidance, this is where we have to get quiet. We can't be doing it if we are overwhelmed and overstressed and we're trying to make decisions. That's not the time to get into action or even make decisions, but to really bring ourselves back and to just get into the present moment and then focus on what is it that we want. And then be quiet and allow the information to come. And the information may not be coming directly in that moment, but it will guide you. This is where synchronicities come in. And then you just trust those synchronicities. Unfortunately, we don't get, okay, here's where you are, do this, this, and this, and it will take you to your final destination. No, we get the first few steps. Right. And then we have to take action. And then we're inspired to the next. And the difference in guidance, I call it your gremlin on one shoulder, you've got guidance on the other. So the gremlin's like the devil, guidance is your angel. And the gremlin's going to be loud. Oh my God, you got to do something. I know, I went through this in the software company, right? And we need to do something. And guidance is just soft. It's like, all is well. Just get back into your soul. And then you might be guided to things that don't seem logical. Guidance is not always logical, in the same way that I was told to go in and teach inner guidance and energy alignment, not hire somebody to get more sales in the door, right? It isn't logical, but it feels better. And this is one of the things that I'm always telling people. Gremlin will feel constricted. There's kind of a fear level or anxious, and your guidance is like, oh, okay. Even if you're afraid to take those steps, it's okay, that feels better, right? That feels a little better. And so that's how I used inner guidance, or what I call using your soul as CEO.
Yeah. I so appreciate these energetic insights and wisdom nuggets here. And it's clear that this is how you lead your business. And you also care a lot about the practical and the step-by-step. I can so relate to that. So as you have, your inner GPS and your intuition guiding the way and your soul as your CEO, what is it that you do, you personally, or how you support your clients in bringing in clients? Because I notice those who are really into this aspect, they actually sometimes lack the step-by-step piece. And it's like, well, wait, I feel aligned and I feel good right now.
Yeah.
Where are my higher ticket clients? So what is the strategy for that?
Yeah. So the first thing that I work with my clients on is, who are those clients that would be so juicy for you? Not who do you think that you can get to say yes. We like get, because that's where most people go. Well, they can't afford, but these are the people that, I could do something with. So I work with, what is the juiciest clients that you want to work with? And then looking at, all right, so based on what is it that you do and what is it that you bring to the table? And I just want to say something here, whether somebody's starting out or whether they're already advanced, you bring experience, okay? You are bringing your experience to the table, because I have had clients, well, I'm just starting out, so I can't afford to work with high-end clients. It's like, that's not true. It is not true. If you've got a passion for something that you can help people with, there are plenty of people who have a passion to work with you. Okay. And so don't sell yourself short. But so we look at that. What is that juicy client? What is it that they do to help them? Now, what we look at is what is the focus, like for those clients, what are the issues that they would have? Same, you could work with lower end clients or products, low products and high end, but you want to speak to the level of client that you're targeting. And here's the thing, what I see is in the marketing, and we work with them for, okay, so what would the marketing look like to speak to those clients? Because most people are speaking to, here's the beginner or someone just starting out. And when you target your messaging and your positioning there, then those that are at a higher stage will see that and they immediately click off because they're already beyond that. The way I talk about this is see it like in school where you are a freshman and a junior, and is that right? A sophomore and senior,
Yep.
junior and then senior.
Freshman,
Freshman, gosh, it's been too long. Right. But so if you're talking to the freshman and the junior, seniors are going to click off. They're not interested. But if you speak to how you can help the seniors, the ones who are freshmen, the ones who are juniors, the ones who are sophomores, they are interested because they also are aspiring to reach that level. Okay. So now when you're messaging, you're being all inclusive. And so that's one of the ways that we do that. But you want to look at what are the different things that you can do to get yourself out there, be visible in marketing that you enjoy doing. Again, it's not like the experts saying, but this is the way and that's the way. No, your way is the one that resonates most with you. And you take those that are the resonant, the one or two or three, and then you focus there. And if there's anything that is being taught that you should be doing, and that's not what resonates with you, then it's not for you. And I promise you, if you do it and it doesn't resonate with you, it won't work with you. So when you find something that resonates, then it's easy. It doesn't feel like work. It's fun. And yeah, there's going to be work. There's still work that has to be done, but it's fun work. It doesn't feel like drudgery, right?
Yeah. I think that's a really good discerning moment that perhaps you could speak into, because when we are working with intuition, we are reading frequency like, oh, this does feel good. Now, feel good is different than happy, right? Like it's not an emotion. And so
Yes.
how do you support when someone goes like, when it is necessary to learn marketing, or it
Oh,
is
yeah.
necessary to learn operations, and they're like, but that doesn't feel good. How do we discern between the intuition of, oh, this is for me and it's a learning
A
curve, versus
good point.
just isn't for me?
Right. So here's the thing. If you're looking at what's the means to the end, and it might not be things that you want to do, like the marketing and sales, there's still ways to learn it and do it that you will get comfortable with. But here's where I call it, like, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. It's not comfortable in your comfort zone. Just because that doesn't feel good to get out of your comfort zone does not mean that it's not your guidance. Okay. You still, because what happens is we're here. We can't grow and expand here. We have to get out of our comfort zones. That's how we grow and expand. And so you go, okay, all right. So I see the means to the end. I'm going to do it. And you get out here and you feel like, oh my goodness. But guess what happens? Not very long. And then this becomes your new comfort zone. And then you're going to be called again. And then you're going to be out here and it's going to be very uncomfortable for a short while. And then you're going to realize, okay, this is how we grow and expand. So don't confuse your guidance with what feels good or doesn't, right? That is such a good point.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a really great description, because as we expand past our current comfort zone, that is how I've experienced it, is almost like my paradigm is a little shaky, right? Like I could actually contract back to comfort, or I could continue opening up. And so there's like that rocky moment of like, which one is it going to be? Which direction am I going to go? And then you neutralize and normalize that new space, and like you said, that then becomes our comfort zone.
yes.
So I want to go into one more topic here before we let you do a short exercise or practical training here is when it comes to the sales. Again, because I want your intuitive and energetic approach to sales, where typically the people that we have on for sales and marketing, like it is just that, and the rest of this doesn't really matter, right? Like that's it. And so, how is it that you relate to sales and support those? Because I think this is also a learning curve from those coming from corporate, is actually to be in business as an entrepreneur, you kind of get to master the art of sales. And so for those
Yeah.
that might be like, ugh, I don't know about that, what is your relationship with sales as someone who is heart-centered and in tune?
Yeah, such a great question. So, yes, we are all in. If you've got a business, you are in sales, people. All right. Sales is not a four-letter word. And the way that I teach it is we want to look at it as we are, see it, the energy is like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like, I don't want them to think I'm pushy or I'm aggressive or all of those things, which is what we don't like ourselves, which is why we don't want to do it. But, and I was taught all of that in IBM, I will tell you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so here's where you want to look at it. You have something that can help someone who is either in pain or they're just wanting to expand themselves or to achieve or to get higher, right? And you have something that they don't have that you can offer them that's going to give them what they want. And so what you're doing is see it as you're at a this your party is your followers, okay? Those who are interested in what you have to do. And now you are just passing your appetizer tray around to those in your party. And you're saying, here's what I have, here's what it looks like, here's the benefits, and it's so healthy for you, whatever your thing is. And guess what? Some people will say yes, some people will say no, some people will say just not right now, and other people will say not for me, but I know somebody who would love this appetizer. But the energy is nothing like somebody who says no to your appetizer. You don't feel like, oh my God, I've been abandoned, I've been rejected, I can't pass another appetizer around. That doesn't happen. It's like, oh, okay, great. Everyone feels okay no matter what. So it's the energy that we come into it with. One of the first things I do when I'm getting on a call with someone is I'm setting my intention for that call. Okay. And that intention is that it's not, oh my God, am I going to get a sale? But that we both determine whether it's a fit or not. So we're not going in with it being a sale. We're just going to determine if it's a fit or not. And my intention is always that we both get off the phone feeling better than we did when we got on it, whether there's a sale or not. And I'll tell you, I have had people send me brownies and cards and like, oh my God, that was a best call. And thank you for the and probably I provide value, but it is, I'm not coaching on the calls. But that is always my intention. And it's really to come from what I call the soul, which is spirit of universal love. That's the energy that I'm bringing to it.
Oh, I love that relationship to sales, and what a freeing approach to go, to not be going into those conversations of like, this has just got to be it. Like, this is it, right? You're already in expectation, which leads us to unconscious and accidental manipulation versus just, is this a beautiful fit? Like, does this align for both of us? Because I think that there's been this idea of, to get enough sales, you'll have to talk people into it, right? Doesn't really matter.
Right,
It just has
right.
to have people come in. And what I'm hearing is like there's a conscious approach to this, which is so
Yes.
powerful. Yeah. Will you shift us into your practice tip, practical training that the audience can apply right here, right now, to get a little taste of your magic outside of the wisdom you've already shared?
Sure. Well, so one of the things I have, there's several things we could go over, but one of the things that I think I really want to focus on is something that I hope will help you understand the value that you bring to the table. Those of you who are watching / listening, right? Because what I find with my clients is they really don't understand the value that the level of the value that they are bringing for their clients. And so it's a little exercise that you can do, okay? And you can think about your clients that you've worked with before. And if you're just getting started, then it would be maybe somebody that maybe you haven't gotten paid yet, but you help them, okay? But here's the thing, look at where your clients were when they first signed up with you. First of all, what compelled them to want to work with you? All right. Oh, I'm going to give you 2 in here. I don't know if I'm going to have time. Okay, let's just stay focused. So the clients, where they were, what were the results that they got while they were working with you? Okay. So in my example, with Vicky, she came to me. She was only doing one-on-one clients. So obviously she was hitting a ceiling. She couldn't make any more. Her time was, timed out. So I taught her how to create a high-end group coaching program. And now she was able to bring people into the group. Now she was able to free up her time. She was making more money than she did before. And she created a 6-figure business that she couldn't get to with the model that she had. Okay. Now, the next question you ask yourself is, what were the long-term results? So we've got short-term results while they're working with you, but what were the long-term results that they took with them long after you were finished working with them? In her case, she went on to become a very well-known person in her industry where she was speaking, which brought in more people into her group programs. Those that wanted to be her very rare VIP clients were now at a much higher level, and she's known in her industry. So she has gone on to make more, multiple 6 figures as a result of what she learned when we were working together. Okay. So for you all to do that, so you understand the power of what it is that you're bringing to the table, because you are changing lives. You're changing lives. It's not about, well, I only work with them an hour a week. It's not about the hour a week. It is about everything that happens between the times you're on the calls with them, right?
So that's a huge shift in perception there, to go, here's what happened during our time versus this person left with the knowledge of how to lead a 6-figure business for the rest of her life, right? Like the rest of her life, she knows how to provide for herself at a minimum of 6 or multiple 6 figures a year. Like that's a lifetime result that makes sense why it could be a high ticket offer, because we're not looking at just, oh, in that time she went from one-to-one to group. It was in that time she went from one-to-one to group. So she expanded her time. And now for the rest of her life, she could work part-time and make 6 figures or multiple 6 figures.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Really powerful shift. I wrote it down as you were talking. I'm like, I gotta take that down. Shift to long-term results. Thank you for all of this wisdom. Will you also share what your complimentary gift is?
Yes. So what I have is the ultimate guide to attracting high-end clients with premium offers. It's a guide. It'll talk about my 3-step core components in doing that. But I also have 4 workshops that go with it. So it's that and a workshop series. So you're going to get the secrets to scaling your business with high-end clients. You're going to learn those 3 core components, and then I'm going to show you how to combine your zine of genius. How's that? Your zone of genius. Oh no, I think that's hard to say.
I like it.
Yeah, with the practical strategies, right? And then integrating that with, of course, the energy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. You can access Eva's complimentary gift below, the ultimate guide to attracting high-end clients with premium offers and the workshop series. You'll also find my invitation for you to join us at 500K in 3 hours a day live training, where we will cover the energetics and strategic steps to increasing impact, income, and freedom in a private Zoom room with me. Thank you so much, Eva, for being here and sharing your wisdom and your upbeat energy and just all of those golden nuggets.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Thank you. And we'll see you all next time on Business Beyond the Matrix. Bye for now.